Welcome everyone, welcome to a new update. Let's see whether Bitcoin has been bottoming out, as we just witnessed Elon Musk, the ultra manipulator, being tweeted about Bitcoin once again. But is that a reason why we are pushing up, or is it just the price structure that we are seeing in which we are generating a new higher high on lower time frames? So what is next to happen to the markets? Is the sentiment going to flip quite fast? Or are we still in a structure where the death cross is going to take place, in which we're going to move further down? Let's see where we are heading, but before we're going to do that, do not forget to subscribe beneath and also like this YouTube update if you enjoy the content. And if you want to see some special content, do not forget to comment beneath this update. Also, I'm not going to do the live stream tonight, unfortunately, as we are building the company. I'll be back in 2 weeks from now with the new live stream. So let's get to the chart. Bitcoin currently shows some strength. As you can see, it's following the path in which we can see that the green structure was literally the area that we wanted to see sustain. After we lost 36k, you want to see this 34k range hold for support. And since then we are seeing strength. So if you look at this lower structure, we are making higher highs, higher lows. And therefore we broke this entire downtrend here, and that validates the bullish divergence at this point. Are we going to make a breakout above the resistance in one go? That seems unlikely at this stage. We don't have to necessarily break through it in one go. It can still take some weeks to just compress, as most likely, as we are in this critical resistance zone, and I have to make it this color here. This is the critical breaker for further continuation upwards. And it's not assumed that Bitcoin can break that in one go at this stage. So most likely what you're going to look at in this structure is that you're going to look for that higher low. The most obvious level for that higher low is the 37.5k level, but it could also be the case that we're going to back towards 35.5, in which we are going to get those higher lows on a bigger picture. And in that case, I want to look at the structure that we have seen after the crash or drop down in September 2020, in which you can see a similar breaker that has been constructed, after which a downwards momentum has happened, and you can see that we're basically in the same structure right now. Bullish divergence being deployed, double bottom structure, and then higher highs were created, after which critical levels have been tested and another run upside has happened. But overall we just constructed a 2 months sideways action, in which it doesn't seem unlikely that we're going to have the exact same experience with Bitcoin right now. Therefore, how are altcoins going to react in this stage? Well, we might have an inverse correlation, that if Bitcoin is going to move south or sideways, they will start acting well. But if Bitcoin goes to a vertical candle upwards, and most likely when we do make this breaker above 40k, we get a one run towards 46 to 48. It's going to be one vertical candle, you will know that the Bitcoin pairs will get crushed. But if it's going to be a grind, we perhaps could see altcoins continuing with Bitcoin. It's a very complex structure right now. But all in all, what are the levels to watch for Bitcoin on the lower time frame for now? Well, it's very obvious that we are looking at this area around 37.5 for a sideways construction. If that is lost, I'm going to look at 36k next. But all in all, I think we're going to have such a compression period or such a consolidative period before we start breaking out to the upside. And I think this is just a very healthy and heavily needed bounce for the markets in general. And I think that if we're going to make that breaker to the upside, you will see how fast the sentiment is going to switch. When we look at Ethereum, we can see that we're also holding the critical level, but it's currently focused around Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is already in this stage at resistance. Ethereum is not. So what you want to see is that Bitcoin USDT is going to consolidate over here, through which Ethereum USDT and other altcoins will bounce back in their Bitcoin pair. So Ethereum still has 17% to gain to get towards the resistance zones, while Bitcoin is already acting in those. If you look at Litecoin, we can see that there's even more to be gained, as the resistance area is 27%. That has to come from the Bitcoin pair, given the fact that the Bitcoin pair is currently not showing strength due to the fact that Bitcoin USDT is running. But if we look at Ethereum Bitcoin on the higher time frame, you can see that the critical levels are still holding. I'll just erase this for a little bit. You can see that these critical levels or the critical zones are still holding at this case. If Ethereum is going to lose the support zone over here, then I'm going to target this entire block around 0.5. But overall, the previous high is most likely where you want to be looking at for longs. Now the question becomes, is Bitcoin going to break out of 40k in one big breakout? If that happens, I'm definitely going to expect Ethereum to hit anything of those ranges. But if Bitcoin is going to consolidate for a week or two at those ranges and maybe even come back to 36, we might be seeing Ethereum Bitcoin making this bounce upwards, in which that 18% that we are needed is going to be constructed from the Bitcoin pair on Ethereum. So it's a very complex market right now, but overall we can see that Bitcoin is moving upwards, Bitcoin is showing strength, and most likely is going to be bottomed out, through which a new higher low has to be made, and then we are ready for that breakout towards 48k. So life's good, just take it slow, don't get chopped out in this sideways construction, and I'll see you again tomorrow.